Hey, welcome everyone to the USA Crypto Group. Today we have ETHBurn for this amazing AMA session. Like always, this is not financial advice. There's no commitment to the team. With that, I'd like to welcome our friend, Ken from ETHBurn. Very excited to have Ken back here today, with his own project. Ken, if you could start out introducing yourself, your experience, as well as your core members as well.
Yeah. So I'm Crypto Ken. I've been in the crypto space a little over a year. I've worked in the space roughly about 9 months or so. I've kind of progressed pretty quickly, meeting a lot of different people. I've worked a couple of different projects. I currently do two, but I try not, kind of keep names away from each other. If people are wondering what those are, you can reach out to me through DM to kind of ask a little bit more about that. But I'll keep this on ETHBurn for now. I've done a lot of different things: marketing, brand ambassadorships, community management. And then for this ETHBurn, I actually have ownership of the contract, and actually the one that's overseeing and managing the contract for ETHBurn.
Awesome, Ken. Thanks for that introduction about yourself. Could you speak a little bit about your core members as well?
Yeah, so we have the contract developer, Manushak, and Manushak, he's lived passively off of crypto for 7 years. He's been in the space a really long time. He's done a lot of contracts for a lot of different people. He's big into NFTs, has kind of worked in that space and stuff like that too. Has done moderator, team member jobs for a lot of different tokens. I've actually this will be the third project that I've actually worked with him. So I know him really well. We're both, I'm fully doxed. He typically doesn't publicly dox, but he did say that he will publicly dox at a $3 million market cap. So that's kind of a fun thing. He is the contract developer. And then Matt from TrueDeFi actually came over and gave us a hand and kind of oversaw everything for the implementations onto the contract, kind of changing the dividend tracker a little bit to make it a little smoother, a little cleaner. Things like that. And then we have some really, really good mods. I have my buddy Robin, who's actually our social media manager. And he's been a good friend of mine for a really long time. He was actually one of the first people that I actually worked with in the crypto space. He was actually on the first project that I actually worked on. So that was kind of fun to be able to bring him back into the team. He's somebody I talk to almost every day. We have a couple other mods that were actually with me back at Protoverse when I was working with them. And they've actually came on to help mod over at ETHBurn. And then we have a couple people that were kind of just community guys that we brought in as a moderator just to help out kind of community mod positions. We had Mighty and Emperor from Bit Valley, and they're the ones that came in and actually built our DApp for us. So that was really good to see. Having talks with a couple other projects like RocketFi. We're close, and we're close with a lot of the guys over there at BitBurn Reflect and Busty Token. Like you'll see AstroPamp and those guys hanging out in our group, and some of the BitBurn Reflect guys will be in there, DeFi Vader and that kind of crew. So yeah, it's been nice. But yeah, we have a pretty diverse team, I would say. Manushak's from Germany. Robin is from Lebanon. I'm obviously U.S. Some of our mods are U.S. One of our mods is Slovenian. So yeah, we have a diverse team and a diverse bunch, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually we have seen those guys here as well. Whether that's through their project for an AMA or part of some projects. So it's kind of really nice kind of seeing you guys come together and supporting each other and, trying to work on a good project. So that's really good to see.
I did like bring everybody together. They're all friends. I know everybody personally. They know me personally. I mean, same as Manushak. So it's really nice. The other guys, like I said, I'll shout them out again. Matt from TrueDeFi and Emperor and Mighty from Bit Valley. We kind of just met them recently, to be honest, but they were recommended to us from friends, and it ended up being a really good relationship. They're really good people in the space, and I mean they've been a massive help for us. And Mighty and Emperor built us, two really, really nice dApps, and they actually saved us a massive amount. So I mean, it's been a lot of help, and that's why I like to be able to shout these guys out too.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are actually very familiar with Matt. I think he doxed himself here as well during one of the AMAs, and I know he swapped. So it's kind of nice seeing him being active out there and helping projects. With that specialized swap, or you would call it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We can kind of go into detail about that really quick if you want to.
Yeah, you know what, Ken, we're going to actually go into that later. But before we go on, I just want to, make sure that investors understand about your concept. So the question for you is, why ETHBurn? Why do you believe that there's value for the investors?
So of course, everybody saw BitBurn. Everybody saw BitBurn reflect. You kind of see the hype around them. It's a good timing play, I would definitely say. You also see the hype around Ethereum. For the first time actually ever in Ethereum's existence, it had more puts in dollar value than Bitcoin. So I think that that's kind of showing a trend as to that a lot of people are hyped about the merge and those kinds of things. So of course, we kind of use that. I mean, what's a project without having hype? What's a project without a good name, a good look, those kinds of things. But then that's why we also come in, behind it with the utility and those things to show that that's not all it is. So, that was kind of the way that I thought of it, to be honest, was, there's these others that have already done it. I like the concept. It's a really good contract. Obviously, with BitBurn, it was a proxified contract. They had issues. They had to pause trading. They have to do a V2 with contract upgrade. Same thing like what happened with Blockbuster. So then when BitBurn Reflect came in, they upgraded the contract and did all of that. It was actually Mighty and Emperor that wrote that contract. So that was pretty much where I started to formulate my plan and started to have an idea about what I wanted to do, but bring utility, of course, to set us apart and do things differently. Same as why we went with that 16-bit concept for the website and everything like that for the logo. Not really going with the trend right now of high resolution 4K, 8K pictures, these stunning logos. Kind of bringing it back a little bit retro and changing it up and showing we're different.
Awesome. So at the core of it, you want to give people ETH rewards, correct?
Yeah, 5% per transaction.
I mean, like you said, I think everyone's familiar with Ethereum, right? So right now they're actually rolling out Ethereum 2.0. So right now, it is a good time to accumulate some ETH, if you ask me.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And this is an easier way of being able to do that. I haven't had time to check today, but yesterday before I went to sleep, I checked and I already made, I want to say, I'd say roughly $83 in Ethereum within the first day. So, that's one of course, you got a lot of it came from the launch volume and getting the big volume right at launch. But that just kind of shows, even looking at it, the launch volume was about 160K for the first half hour. So really looking at it long term, and you think of what you can get, if we can push this token, and we'll continue to push this token to get it there, if we can get to $1 million a day, you can get to the point where you're making, roughly depending on your bag size, $250 a day in Ethereum rewards.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, I love Ethereum. I think it has probably one of the best use cases out there. 100% hands down, and it's not going away anytime soon, at all, ever actually. So I love Ethereum. Awesome. So I just want to let the investors know that the project is live, and we will pin that the chart. Johnny, if you can pin that really quick, please. All right, Ken. So let's get to the tokenomics.
Yeah. So the tokenomics. So we have the ETHBurn token. The ETHBurn token is 10% tax in, 10% tax out. They're the same exact percentages for buy and sells. Nothing's different. So it's 5% rewards, 2% LP, 1% marketing, 1% dev, and 1% true burn. And what I mean when I say true burn is it's an actual on-chain burn. So you'll actually see it on PooCoin or anywhere that you're checking charts. Every time a transaction goes in, you'll see tokens disappear. And then I do want to bring up the BabyEthBurn token as well. Thing that we see in the space a lot is if something has hype, if people are hyped about something, you know, they are there's going to be somebody else that's going to try to redo it, recreate it, do a baby token, reflect in it, you know, those kinds of things. So not only did we want to do it, you know, for the safety of everyone, but the BabyEthBurn token, it also works as an automatic buyback and burn for the ETH token. So it reflects 8% rewards in ETHBurn, and then it's 2% tax, 2% marketing, 2% dev, and 1% burn. And then speaking of burns on these tokens, I actually burnt 1% total supply on ETHBurn last night. And then I burnt another 0.5% of supply today. So we're already sitting at over 2% burned in 2 days. And then on the BabyEthBurn, we actually burned manually yesterday 10%. So I think that one's sitting at about 11 some odd percent burned in 2 days.
Awesome, awesome. And your total supply is 1 million, is that correct?
Yes, 1 million supply for both tokens. And then with the burn, of course, that's just going to diminish. But yeah, we did the same exact total supply on both tokens, just 1 million tokens.
Yeah, so just kind of recap what Ken just says, right? So a lot of projects when they create, well, not when they create, let me say that again. So when there's a hyped project, usually you will have another developer to come out and create a baby token, try to exploit the daddy token for their benefits, right? So I guess what Ken's trying to say is that, you know, they're in recognizing that they actually went ahead and also created the baby token for the project as well. So right now, you guys also own the baby and the daddy token, correct?
Yes. I have ownership of the EthBurn token, and I manage that contract. And then Manoshak has ownership of the BabyEthBurn token, and he manages that contract.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and you do have a wallet transfer tax at 5%.
Yes. So we did that. We also did what we like to call, or what we've had coined by Stomaniac of BitBurn Reflect, coined the new launch meta. So the way that we actually launched our token is we launched our token with only a 0.1% max wallet. And that was to kind of deter having any whales that could accumulate big bags for small prices as soon as we launch and then dump them on everyone else. Made it a lot more fair where people have to continue to put in transactions. By the time you get your next transaction in, price is up and vice versa, continues to keep the cycle going. And that's also why we did a 5% transfer tax. It's so that people couldn't just buy on 8 wallets, accumulate, and then just transfer them all together without paying any kind of extra tax or anything like that, because then they'll just try to take advantage, put them all into one, and then have one big still on your chart to try to manipulate it downward. So that's why we put a 5% transfer tax. Is then if they are to do that and say they transfer 8 wallets into one, they're going to pay 5% tax on every single one. And then that tax is paid to us directly in BNB. So then we can use that to just buy their position out.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Regarding the LP, Ken, right now, is it locked up and what is the duration for that?
It's locked for 1 year on both tokens, 100%.
Okay, where is it locked at?
I locked the ETHBurn at DX sale, and I forget where Manushak locked. It may be DX sale. It's in our announcements. If you guys go into our announcements, you'll see that we have the link for both of those that are right in there for you guys to see. And kind of touching on that, we raised a 200 BNB private sale on the ETHBurn, and we contributed 66% of that, so 133.3 BNB to initial LP. And then on the baby token, we raised 60 BNB, and we put 80% of that, so 50 BNB, into the LP for the baby token. So that was a big thing for us, is not start at a 3K, 5K, 10K, 15K market cap, but actually starting the project at sustainable value where, you know, people have to take it into the hundreds of thousands or further to be able to get some X's on it, instead of going from, you know, 1K to 10K and cashing out a 10X and kill the project.
Awesome. I mean, that's a good number. Yeah, 100%. Looking at on the BSC scan there, I do have a question for you, Ken. Let me see here. The 32, almost like 31, 17% of the tokens. What wallet is that?
That is the same. It's the owner wallet and marketing wallet. I have control of that wallet. That's the wallet that I use for marketing funds, those kinds of things. That's also where, of course, the taxes would go back for the marketing side. The dev wallet, Anishak has control over. The reason why you see that unlocked supply for the time being is we're currently going through trying to get a first utility that will be bringing from what we already have will be NFTs. And we're already in talks with them over at Bit Valley of how to incorporate to get staking set up. So we're going to actually use a chunk of our supply to put in there so that you can stake NFTs and earn our tokens. And that's why you're going to see that unlocked for now. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to split it from there. And I will be splitting the ETHBurn up to between 10 and 12% for CEX listings, which is a big goal of ours. And I've already been in talks with a few. And then we'll also do 10% that we will hold and always be on the DEX until it's used for liquidity. So we don't want to be put in the position of having to add liquidity to our token and having to buy back all of our tokens off of the open market to be able to add liquidity. So that's why we will hold that to the side so that we can use that to wrap with BNB and add liquidity manually. Any liquidity we ever add will be locked for the same duration of time.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for that clarifications. Because I did see that it's in the owner's wallet. So yeah. Okay.
Now that's where it gets burned from as well. If you look, you'll see a burn for 1%. You'll see a burn for 0.5%. That both happened within about 8 hours. So that's another thing that we'll use it for too. Is any of the extra supply, we'll use it in that direction to do some manual burns here and there. That was the purpose of Manishak doing 10% burn. Is we don't need it. It's not something that we're going to use. It's not something that's going to sell. We do have plans of getting things locked up. We just need to figure out what the timing is, because it would be an awful precarious position to be put in if you're looking to get listed on a CEX, but you can't do it because your tokens are locked up. So that's one of those things where I think the reason why, to be honest, this is about 6th, 7th AMA I've done, and it's the first time I've been asked about it. I think that a lot of that has to do with reputation as well. And that was the reason I was able to, raise privately and have them send an address from a Google form, is the fact that people trust me, people know me, and they know that, I wouldn't do anything like that. So I think that's why it hasn't really been brought up. But we do have plans of splitting those wallets up, and it'll be roughly 10% for LP, roughly 12% for CEX. And then I want to take the rest of that and actually put that into staking pools so that people would actually be able to earn our tokens passively as well.
100%. I mean, I know you can, so you guys do have a good reputation in the space, but that's something that I just want to make sure that you explain it, the plans for our investor to hear as well. So I appreciate the explanation on that. But like you said, you got to have, sometimes locking tokens, right? Because, within the space, we all used to bad actors, right? Developers with bad intentions, right? But what Ken says makes a lot of sense. You got to have strategies, things have to make sense. If you lock those up, sometimes, it's not accessible, right? When you need it. But again, it all depends on who's behind the projects. And, I have no reason to believe that Ken or the team would do anything bad, being the owner's wallet. So,
yeah, I mean, me personally, and that's a point that I make for the project too, is, I have capital outside of this project. I do have another project that I work for outside of this project. So, this isn't anything that has to do with money. That's the reason why we took 0% team tokens. So we're not saying we have any allocated team tokens anyone can sell. If you look at the owner address, which is my address, if you look at the address, you'll see that there hasn't been a single sell made. And another reason behind that is because we collect all of our fees in BNB. We do not collect our fees in native tokens, so we do not have any need to ever sell native tokens.
Awesome. Now you touch a bit on staking. When can we expect that?
I've been talking with BitValley.
Okay. Yeah, awesome, Ken. So I think that's pretty much all the basic stuff that's out of the way. 10% in, 10% out, 5% transfer tax, LP is locked up for a year. Both tokens are live at the moment.
We are
All right.
fully audited by InterFi as well, and we're undergoing the process of KYC. That's another reason I didn't mind jumping on and doxing is, I mean, that's practically the same thing as a KYC anyways. But yeah, that was one of the things for me. And one thing I did want to jump in is with the utility. So I want to talk about the utility that we have currently. And with the utility that we have currently is we have a partnership with TrueDeFi. And that was who I spoke about earlier was Matt and TrueDeFi. He's actually building or has actually already built a very, very innovative swap. And it's something that I think people really should look into. I think they really should go look into TrueDeFi because the purpose of why we use it is because his swapper is it collects all fees in BNB. So what that means for community members is we are not receiving tokens we have to sell from our marketing wallet, from our dev wallet to be able to actually pay for marketing, to be able to pay for anything we need to put into the project development, any utility. All of that is collected directly in BNB. So it has no impact on the liquidity opposed to a lot of tokens. They get all of their tokens in native token, and then they have to sell native tokens on the chart to be able to get BNB to go and pay for things. So we also, with that platform, have absolutely no contract sales. All of the fees are taken in BNB before the transaction. So there is no contract sales. Our contract buys with BNB that was already collected from the fees pre-transaction is how it actually goes and buys its holder reward. So it's a lot different than what you're used to, where every time reward paid out, there's a sell on the chart. We don't have those sells on the chart because of that. And then it also auto-liquefies every single transaction. So what you normally see in a contract is you'll see somewhere between a 30-minute or 1-hour interval of where the contract will actually put the function in for an auto-liquefy. What that does is every time you get an auto-liquefy transaction, it's going to be a sell on the chart through any typical platform. Because the reasoning behind that is that's how they get the BNB to be able to match the tokens that they're adding for their 50-50 liquidity pool. But with ours, the fee is already collected in BNB. So even when we auto-liquefy, there's not a contract sell for auto-liquefy, and it's auto-liquefy every transaction. So nobody can try to manipulate the system and take advantage of doing huge sell-off in between those 30-minute intervals and kind of, manipulate the price downward.
That is amazing. That is actually really amazing, and I love that. And again, props to shout out to DeFi Matt. He's here talking about a swap. That's actually really nice to see. Like Ken was saying, usually what happens is that they have to buy the token and resell it back to the chart, right? So with this contract and with the swap here, they don't do that. They take the BNB pre-transaction. So what that means is that it will not affect the chart like it usually does in other projects. So that's really cool.
So great. If it's it's taking 10%, then it'll take that 10% of BNB that goes to tax, it'll take it out, and the remaining BNB gets swapped practically tax-free for the rest of your tokens. So one thing I did want to say about the swap is we actually have the swap implemented on our own website. So we do have our own swap, and that's powered by TrueDeFi. So the difference between buying on PancakeSwap, PooCoin, is if you buy through PancakeSwap or PooCoin, even with our same contract, it's going to have contract sales, and it's going to have LP. Well, it won't have contract sales, but it will have LP accumulation. So what that means is they will take the LP tokens that they are getting from every transaction. At some point when they're ready to sell, they'll take those and they'll break the LP token into two. They'll split it into the BNB and their native token. And then all of the native tokens that they get, they will then sell on chart. If you buy our token from TrueDeFi or from our swap directly on our website or DApp, then there is no contract sells and it's auto-liquefied.
So if you guys are interested in the project, make sure that you guys go to TrueDeFi or to the website and through the swap. So that way, it does what it's supposed to do, which is not to sell the chart. I just don't see why not. I know it's you guys may not used to it, but it's pretty safe. It's 100% safe, even through their swap. So, did you guys just implement this lately, Ken, or has this been around since day one?
I was ready at launch. So we actually had the DApp, the swap, everything implemented before we launched the token. We have a dedicated DApp for the baby token. So the baby token has its own DApp. You can actually go on there, and if any of your dividends or rewards get stuck, you can actually go on, and we implemented a claim function. So you can go on and claim your reward. They're supposed to be auto sent, but as everyone knows, sometimes holder rewards will get stuck. A lot of tokens that are holder rewards, what people also do is they'll go and say, buy an extra $5, buy an extra $10 to trigger that transfer so they get their rewards. Instead of having to do that, you can just connect directly to our DApp in that way. And then our DApp also auto disconnects if you turn it off. So it will not keep your wallet connected to it. You will, every time you load back into the DApp, you will have to reconnect. You do not have to reconnect between pages, but we do have an automatic disconnect if someone is loading off of it.
Yeah, the UI is actually very clean. I'm actually looking at it right now, and it has all the necessary information on here. You have, the balance, claim rewards. You got the claim button. You got even the marketing wallet. It tells you, how much is in the marketing wallet. So it's actually
we
cool.
like the transparency of that. It was one that somebody loved in another one. And I personally was really happy to have it on there. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not worried about it. I post transaction hashes for everything that we're doing outside of the marketing wallet. I mean, my community's always educated on what's going on. So figured why not have it there and have something cool for them to be able to look at and kind of see, where finances are at and how we are. And with everything we paid for lately and all the marketing and getting all of this going, I'm really happy to see that we're still sitting at about $10,000-$11,000.
Yeah, that's actually really neat. Like you said, transparency is very important, and also it actually helps for the people that are may not be very familiar with the BSC scan, right? So you have all the necessary information there for you to look at. So it's actually really nice and clean. I love the UI of it.
And that's the same as like the claim function. So like, you can always just go to a contract and claim your rewards directly from a contract. But what percentage of community members will actually know how to do that? So that was what I told them. They're like, well, you could just do it from the contract if you want to do it that way. I was like, yeah, but who's actually, how many people are actually going to know how to go into the contract, look at it, connect your wallet to it, go down the right function, actually write it, and actually get your rewards out of the contract. So we figured, why not just have a nice little claim button? It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but be able to go on there and claim your rewards directly instead of confusing people and trying to send them in BSC and getting lost.
100%. Perfect. All right, Ken. So what is next? What is the next step on the project?
So the next utility that I plan on bringing out will be the NFTs. They will be passive income. There will be a percentage of mint that will go directly towards buyback of the token, depending on which token. I want to be able to bring out 2 collections, but I can't guarantee. I want a collection for the EthBurn token and the BabyEthBurn token. And then what I want to implement from there is the NFT staking, so that if you stake a baby NFT, you earn baby tokens. If you stake an EthBurn NFTs, you earn EthBurn tokens. I also have some other plans, like I said, where it comes to CEXs, and trying to get some of that going. So yeah, CEXs is one of the big goals that I do have is getting on a big CEX. The one that I'm currently in talks with, it's a little bit out of our price range right now, to be honest, but they do have over $1 billion in transactional volume per day. So that's definitely a place I would like to be. And they also pay 6% tax. So you do get paid out tax. And the way that works is they actually pay it out to us. They would pay it out to us depending on the exchange, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. We would USDT rewards depending upon volume on the exchange. And I want to implement a token locker system that I will be able to implement for our actual EthBurn token, to be able to lock the token away you will still earn all of your Ethereum rewards, but you will also earn USDT reward on top that will be paid directly from the funds we get from the CEX. So that's what will actually sustain it, is the fact that we're getting volume and we're getting payments in, and a percentage of those rewards are going to go directly to the pool.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, so I think, sex is important as well. But like you say, in the project, you guys just barely launched the project. So I think financially, we all know you can't afford a big sex right off bat, right? So everything's got to have its steps to get there. I'm looking at phase 2 right now, Ken. I do see that you have some lottery, draw, and raffle in place, as well as governance utility. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so that's going to be Manushek wants to go a governance token, and pretty much what would where that come into place is for certain things. Like I said, that's the purpose of why for the planned utility. That's the reason of why I said I can't say percentages specifically. Is these are things that will be voted on by the governance members. So governance members would actually be the ones that would vote on these things of, if they want to see more money go into liquidity, they could say, okay, well, now we want to see 2% of that 6% going towards LP. And that's why I will keep that 10% tokens to the side to add manual LP. Or if the LP is really strong, but the price is, kind of just been stagnant and they want to see buybacks, they could vote for buybacks. They could vote for more rewards going towards the holder pool for those that actually stake the NFTs. Those kinds of things is really the goal of that, is to be able to give people, a little bit more, I don't want to say control, but a little bit more of a voice. For me, I don't know everything, don't act like I know everything, and I've never said I do. So, 10 heads are better than one. And that's the way that I would like this project to move forward.
100%, 100%. So I think that's a good quality for you to recognize that, we do not know everything, right? So we gotta be willing to listen and listen to others' perspective, right? And input. I think that's important within the crypto space, based on our knowledge and experience as well. Phase 4 can introduce secret utility. Nobody can keep a secret, brother. So what is that?
I'm not sure. It might be a typo, to be honest. It looks like I'll have to go and proofread that. I think it's supposed to be separate. And what that would be referring to, token locker. This is something that definitely is going to be down the line. Like I said, it would be dependent upon CEX exchange to be able to pay the rewards for it. Unless it's something that ends up getting voted for that everybody wants. We actually on our contract have a max tax of 15%. That's why you see the baby token is set at 15 and 15. That's our actual max. And we kept the ETHBurn at 10 and 10. We didn't want to do it too crazy, too high. So we do have that ability to do that. And that's another thing that people would be able to vote on. We could implement an extra 2% rewards in UAT. We could implement even going up to say 7% Ethereum rewards, 8% Ethereum rewards, depending on what people want to see, we would be able to implement those things if it was a majority rule. So what we didn't want to do is mess with what we like of a 10-10. 10 and 10 is really appealing for you, get good rewards, but also not paying 20% tax to get in or out. So that's why we really want to go past that. But of course, that's something people would be able to vote on. If they have that trust and if that's what they want to do, then that's something that we would be able to actually implement and actually do that according to majority rule.
Awesome. Yeah, it does say secret on here. So yeah, I'll bribe you one day. CMC, CMC and CG listing. Of course, you guys already applied for those, correct?
Yeah, it's in the works. I can't really say much on it. I don't want to have issues with them. But yeah, it's in the works. That funding has already been taken out of the marketing.
Awesome, brother. All right. Yeah, so it looks like we went through everything. Is there anything else you want to speak on, Ken?
No, I think we really touched on, I think we touched on all of it.
Awesome, brother. So with that said, we're going to have the legend Mike on voice, and he's going to take some questions from the community.
What's up, guys? Ken, appreciate you coming out tonight. Amazing presentation, brother.
Thank you, bro. It's great to see you.
100%, man. 100%. You guys are making some magic over there, for sure.
We're trying, bro.
Oh, it's shown. It shows, man. So before I like to get into the text questions of the community, I always like to ask if anybody would like to voice their question. Please feel free to unmute yourself and do so before I jump into these text questions.
I got a question. Nifty.
Go ahead, brother.
Just regarding the NFTs, since the BSC space is a lot different when it comes to NFTs, one thing that I see a lot of tokens make mistakes on is that they make NFT supply that's like way bigger than the amount of holders that you have. So if I can give you one piece of advice, it would be you can always do it in phases, right? So if you have like 400 holders now, I personally wouldn't want to mint anything bigger than like 1,000 NFTs for now. And then you can always mint more when you get more holders. Right? I don't know what your thoughts on that.
I actually plan to do it in multiple rounds. So my plan with it is 1,500 NFTs would be the max, and it would be roughly 500 that would come out per round, and they would come out separate round with a little bit different.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff working. It's just trying to get all this done. You know, on the last AMA I was just on, I was saying how there's two things I was supposed to fill out some application forms and stuff like that for, and I was supposed to do it before I fell asleep. I just keep getting pulled here and there and everywhere. So, you know, I got a lot going on in my head, though, I can tell you that. And there's definitely going to be more that we're going to be able to work into this.
Appreciate that question there, Nifty. Does anyone else want to ask their question before I jump into a few community text questions here? All right. If anybody wants to unmute yourself at any point, please feel free to. So first question coming from the community here, Ken, is about your transfer tax. 5%. What is that allocated to on the breakdown of the 5% transfer tax?
5% is going to go direct to us. So that was exactly what I was going over with Seattle about. You know, that's the purpose of it being there is pretty much like an anti-whale measure. So it's a countermeasure for whales to be able to take a bunch of different wallets, put them into one wallet, and dump a big wallet on you. So of course, then if they're transferring and they do decide to do that and transfer, say, a bunch of 0.1 wallets and make a 1% or anything along those lines, then with them doing that, we will actually get 5% on those transactions directly in BNB that we will use to buy that position back.
I love it. Appreciate it. Next question for the community is about. Sorry about that. Next question is about P2E. Do you have any plans for a P2E game down the road?
I do not. There's just too much that goes into that, and you have to have way too much supply to be able to give away P2E rewards that it kind of, in my opinion, kind of cripples the project. Those that have done it properly have been very massive, but there's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that have tried and failed.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit it right on the head there. There's a ghastly amount of P2E games coming out, and if you're not unique in the slightest of way, it's just going to get eaten on these days. And it's sad. It really is, because some of these communities are really great.
Yeah, I mean, that's something it's really high cost, you know, to be able to get that built, unless you actually have an insider as well. That was something in a previous project I was in that they were doing, and just the development cost of it, it crippled them, and they raised roughly $270,000. and we only raised 75K. So we did ours completely private, but yeah, 75K and 270K is a big difference, and even 270K wasn't enough to sustain.
Exactly it. Next question there, Ken, coming from the community, is about education. Do you have any plans for implementing an educational piece on teaching blockchain or any of the knowledge of blockchain down the future?
Like me personally, or tied into the project?
Well, since we're talking about ETHBurn here, let's talk about ETHBurn.
Yeah, like a learn to earn. That is something Manushak likes. I won't bring that. I'm not gonna say it is or isn't gonna happen. To be honest, that is something that he does like. Is kind of like a. We did have plans of doing that in the previous project. It was just trying to get the funding of everything, getting it done. With a proper DApp and those kinds of things. But I mean, from where we've came from that project to where we are now. And the people that we have that are kind of helping us, I can say that it's something that could be possible. I always try to preach a lot of education just in general for people. I'm not the kind of guy that tells people buy now. I'm not the kind of guy, that's creating false high pressure or those kinds of things. I consider myself a realist, and I work that same way in the space. So I tend to give people a lot of information and kind of make things, known. Same as like trying to go over the thing according to the swap. I had a VC in our own group that I've done that. We all have a write-up that we'll be putting out, an educational write-up that we'll be putting out for everybody. That kind of gives them the benefit of doing that. So it's something that could be possible.
I can respect that. I know it is quite the journey to add educational pieces. Yes, I know you're very well knowledge in the space yourself, and like you said already, you're always talking in that manner. Anyways, very educational in anything you say. So, next question from the community here is about security. Besides your ETHBurn audit, there, what other type of security measures do you have on your contract?
It's good. You can go look through the audit. Or go talk to some of the developers I was even talking to the person that audited the contract, and they were talking about how flawless it is. The contract is actually very, very good. So talking about security, there's no max transaction. Max wallet, yes, can be moved, but it doesn't affect any tokens that are already in. 15% tax is the absolute max we could move it to. There is no disable trading, only enable trading. So when I enable trading, now the trading function's actually locked. There's no way for me to ever disable trading. Liquidity's locked for a year. Docs, KYC is all coming right now. And yeah, security of, being around a community that has over 100 members that know me personally.
100%. That's it exactly too. Ken, you've been around the space a long time. A lot of people know you, so it's very trusted coming to the community here. As me in Seattle and Johnny and a bunch of us here can vouch for your safety and security of the project, and we can appreciate that. Next question is about 100%. Next question is about partnerships. Can you speak on any currently and anything that might be coming up for partnerships?
Yeah, so we're already partnered with TrueDeFi. I've already talked with BitValley, and once we actually get NFTs to go live on their marketplace, that will be another public partnership as well. We were just listed on Novation Swap and Exchange, and that's Chris over at Vault Finance. So that's another partnership that is in the pipeline. Currently, we already released the graphic of us being listed on Novation. And then we also had an AMA with Varigate, and they're part of a crew that's called Unite DeFi. I was just put into a couple of their private groups, and we're going over a couple of things there. There's roughly about 22 different projects that are all different DeFi projects that are in there. Just in the, I'd say, day that I've been there, I've been approached by 2 different projects that are looking to partner and implement us into a couple of utilities that they have. I won't name drop just in case it doesn't happen, but I do expect both of those to come through as well. We will be part of the inner circle of Unite DeFi, and on the AMA we had with Varigate yesterday, Squirrel or Adam from RocketFi was actually on there, and he was reaching out and he was saying how that he sent us one of those. They have their own swap and everything. They actually have their own app too, so it's not having to go through MetaMask or anything like that. You can buy directly from the app. And they were already asking, I guess he sent out on launch day and me and Manny both missed it. He was actually trying to come to us for a partnership as well and get us listed there. And then there's a couple other big names that I'm working my way into on trying to get to some pretty well-known swaps. One of the swaps, I could say probably 90% of the people here know the name and know it is not SafeMoon.
You got a lot going on, brother. Wow, I like it.
Busy.
It's the only way to keep it going, right? Man, I can respect that. Next community question is requirements to participate in your raffle or lottery draw. What are those requirements to participate?
Yeah, that'll be coming out in phase 2. Like I said, that's something that's still being worked on. So pretty much where the lottery and raffle will come into place will be with the NFTs. So that's something that you guys will be getting some information on, I hope within a week, but maybe even sooner than that. But I would say for a safer estimation, you guys should have the details on this and some sneak peeks on some things within a week.
I like that. And I imagine the same thing with the special events for the community. Is that also going to be explained later on?
So I kind of brought that up in the last AMA. So what I'll be doing is that ties into the supply as well. We do have some extra supply. So that I will be doing for those that diamond hand that do not have any cells on the chart and been there with us from the beginning and are holding on long term is within probably I'd say the next few weeks time. I will start to give some incentives for those that are holding and they will be able to earn some extra passive income.
Juicy incentives. I like the word of that. All right. Melissa here from the community asks, how will you keep new investors coming in? What is your very next marketing strategy to bring in the next herd of investors?
Partnerships and utility. That's in this space, in this market climate. I mean, that's the most important. I did all these AMAs because, I want all these different groups to be able to see us. I know that actually being able to hear from the team is a lot different than just seeing a pin post go up. But at this point, I'm kind of at the point where I've gone through most of the groups that I like and that I would love to work with. So from here, you'll kind of see the marketing kind of change. You'll see a little bit more focus. We did just have a shell raid crew that came in and paid them for a 10-hour shift of, just constant shelling the project. There will be some more Twitter stuff that you guys will see coming up. And, we will be doing different things more within the community. We do have a buy competition that's going on right now that will actually have 10 winners. So that's pretty fun to see. It's a nice thing to be able to reward those that are getting in the project. And I think people will see that that's something I like to do a lot, is to reward those that hold, reward those that support, and give people a true passive income stream where people are able to hold something and make passive income without hurting their own investment, but at the same time be able to do it safely and sleep on the bag at night knowing that they're going to wake up, project's going to be strong.
100%. I can respect that. All about the community. I like that. Moving on here is about your BabyEthBurn, touching on that. What other use cases do you have planned possibly for BabyEthBurn apart from the EthBurn reward? My concern is that the fact that the team would have to deal with the divided attention between the projects.
Yeah, so I mean, I see where you're coming from. And to a certain point, I would agree to a certain point on that, because, of course there will be more funding needed for the ETHBurn project. So of course the ETHBurn project will use more of the funds, strictly because it has a higher market cap, it has a higher liquidity pool. There's more trading on the token. There's a lot of reasons behind that. But with the BabyEthBurn token, the good thing about it is anytime I do anything like this, anytime I do any kind of marketing, AMAs, these kinds of things, it's promoting both projects. We have one Telegram group. So we can do a baby Telegram group that we have to, split ourselves up and try to run over there and answer these questions and deal with all of that. We have one Telegram group. You can go in, you can see the price of ETHBurn. You can go in, you can see the price of BabyEthBurn. I kind of like to call it the madhouse because, once this gets busy, it's going to just be insane. And that's kind of the purpose of is anybody that holds ETHBurn knows about BabyEthBurn. When we do the NFTs, I do have plans of bringing NFTs to BabyEthBurn, and I do plan on putting a good chunk of supply into NFT staking so you can stake those and earn BabyEthBurn. Also, with it being BabyEthBurn NFT, the buyback from the minting will actually go onto the BabyEthBurn chart. And of course, if you buy an ETHBurn NFT, it will go to the ETHBurn chart.
I like that. Well, one big ecosystem there, and I can fully respect the fact that it's under one Telegram because it can be quite the job to jump back and forth and, remember where you are. So many questions coming from each when it can all be encompassed with one like you did there. Very smart. Yeah. Very smart.
And then you can see, even for the people that that don't even know about BabyEthBurn, and they just came into the chat, even if they don't know about it and they just came in, then they're going to see the BabyEthBurn chart come up and they're going to be like, oh, well, you guys have a baby too. So, it's smart to be able to make it, it makes it public to everyone.
That's that organic growth right there, brother, 100%. So, next community question is, on your website, do you have plans sooner or later to add your public profile pictures to the website? As we know that you're doxxed, what about the rest of the team?
If you guys take us to 3 million market cap, I'll do it.
I like it.
Manny said he'll dox at 3 million market cap. So if we hit 3 million market cap, I'll make you guys that promise right here, and this is the first place you heard it. So yeah, you guys, we hit 3 million market cap, you'll see docs profiles on the website. I can promise you that.
I like that. Next community question here, and we'll take just a couple more, Ken. I don't want to keep it too long here. So you decided to launch EthBurn and the Baby token at the same time. What was your decision on launching at the same time and not separating the two launches?
Okay, so there's a couple of different reasons. So first and foremost, it's because someone else would have launched it within that time frame. If we waited 4 hours, if you look at BitBurn Reflect, they had BitBurn Reflect within, I believe it was an hour or two. So that's one of the reasons for it, is because it would have given plenty of time to go the contract, which we've already seen deployed on Manit, that there already is copies of it, and there already was before we even launched. People have already copied the code. So that's something that we already knew was going to come. And with that, that's a big part of it. But then also, some people were saying, well, don't you think it's going to be hard to get buy pressure on both these different things? You can actually see that they kind of follow each other. If you look at the charts, they go up, and then when the other one goes down, if ETHBurn, it's pretty much like ETHBurn is BTC and like BabyEthBurn is an altcoin. It follows right along. This whole time, it's just been following right along with what ETHBurn has done. So it's been kind of funny to see. But the other reason for it is people were worried about the buy pressure of, but what people didn't think about is if we would have launched it, say 48 hours later, 24 hours after we launched, we were sitting at 55 cents from 15-cent launch price. So if we would have launched Baby token then, in my head, what I think personally is people would have sold off the EthBurn token to buy the BabyEthBurn token since it's so small. So, since it would have been that lower market cap.
I think I respect that, bringing the buy pressure in, keeping them both launched at the same time. I think that's a really good, strategy, 100%. as they can both grow right from launch together with giving rewards on both. And yeah, I like that. I'll take just one or two more here, brother. Is written into the contract. Next question now, I'm sorry. Written into the contract, I know we touched on this earlier. What is the maximum and minimum taxes that you could set?
Yeah, we could do minimum at whatever we like, maximum 15%. The BabyEthBurn contract is the same contract as the ETH contract. Of course, it was deployed separately and it had a different reward token, but the actual code is the same.
Okay. I'll just grab one more question there, brother, and I'll kick it back to Seattle. For the community is about the staking when it does come out. As we know, some of the world is facing SEC issues. How do you plan to stay ahead of that when it comes time, when it kind of gets implemented, I guess?
Yeah, SEC issues. If you're looking into SEC, then you're mostly talking about CeFi. And if you're talking about CeFi, you're talking about centralized exchanges. If you're talking about centralized exchanges, then it is completely different than decentralized exchanges. So yeah, it's something that with DEX you don't quite have to worry about. So I wouldn't worry about that too much for the time being. If you're worried about that, it's mostly applicable to CEXs.
I like it, man. Well, Ken, I respect it. I appreciate all the answers. That's it for the community tonight. And if there's anything I did miss, make sure you guys hop on over to the EthBurn Telegram. Ask your questions. Ken or the community there, mods, will be sure to answer your questions. I'm going to kick it back to Seattle. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ken. Ken, always a pleasure chatting with you, brother. Thanks for coming here again to the USA Crypto Group. Is there a last word you want to leave us with, brother?
My buddy Ray wanted me to shout him out. He's actually one of the reasons that we went with ETHBurn. So yeah, he had a hand in naming it and coming up just with doing ETHBurn instead of BitBurn. So I saw that he had a DM in there for me, so I'll leave with that. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it, and I always have a good time every time I come here.
Awesome. So what we usually like to do is, Ken, we'd like to raise awareness to your Telegram room, having our community go over there and say, great AMA at USA Crypto Group. Is that something that you would like us to do?
Yeah, go hit it.
Perfect. All right, brother. Well, great chat. Mike's going to come back on. He's going to do some, drawing for the cash prize giveaway. And he's going to go over there to pick one person that says great AMA at USA Crypto Group as well. You can hang out, or you can bounce off. It's all up to you, brother.
Yeah, I got to hit those listings. But yeah, just reach out to me if anything's needed.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. I'll see you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
you guys
man.
all have a good one.
Appreciate it, brother. You too, man. All right, guys. You know what time it is. I just seen it there a second ago. Oh, I think you already left. I was going to say a shout out to Astro Fam. But all right, giveaway time. $75 tonight total. We have one on the wheel. You know what? Let's do 100. We're going to do two on the wheel, and we'll do one best question and one, like Seattle said, one to the community heading over to EthBurn saying great AMA at USA Crypto Group. I won't hold you guys up any longer on this Wednesday beautiful night. I know sometimes it's probably 2, 3, 4 a.m. So for some of you, let's get it on. Let's get it.
Wood.
T-Bot. Oh, man. Congratulations, brother. Won yourself $25. Good to see you back in there. We had an AMA with you.
I don't think bots can allow to win, Mike. We're going to have to reconsider that.
Cal42, second $25 winner. Congratulations. I don't know if you've won yet. And I know you've seen it in pretty much every single AMA for the last 20, I swear. So I appreciate your commitment there, and congratulations, $25. All right, guys, that's it for the AMA tonight with EthBurn and the USA Crypto Group. Seattle, appreciate you hosting as always. Amazing job. And we'll see you on the next one. It'll be posted very shortly.
All right, brother. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
See you guys. Peace.